So going to be following an Ipswich test route. We're not starting from the test centre, starting sort of in the middle of the route, but we'll go back to the test centre. So checking around, there's no one to indicate to, and I'm moving off. As I come down, I'm going to ask myself to do the manoeuvre, the pull up on the right. So I'm going to ask myself to pull up a little bit further along next to the tree and the lamppost. So I'm going to put my indicator, I've checked my mirrors obviously, put my indicator on. Just make sure this runner doesn't come out. That's it. And then I'm going to pull up. So you see I slowed it down, made sure that the traffic behind knew exactly what I was doing. Now I've pulled it up on the side of the road. I'm going to put it in park. Now I'm going to ask myself to reverse back 2 to 3 car lengths, back into reverse, full check round, and then start coming back. Watching the driveways. I'm ignoring the driveways in terms of pulling across them. And a little bit of an adjustment. Now see this car coming towards me. As this car comes towards me about here, I'm just going to pause so that I'm not a moving target. Once they're gone, quick check round. Start coming back. The van, I'm just going to stop the van because he looked a little bit like he wanted to come across this side. No, he didn't. Keeping an eye on the driveways. And I'm going to call it a day there. Okay. And move off when you're ready. So, full check round. Indicate. Yeah, I might do as a lady walking down the pavement. Just make sure she doesn't try and cross the road. Car coming towards me there, but it's far enough away for it not really to matter too much. Park car, check my mirrors, bring it out. And I'm going to ask myself to pull up on the left where it's safe to do so. So, check my mirrors, know what to indicate to, start slowing down, pull it in here, come to a stop and move off when you're ready. Full check round, over my shoulder, again know what to indicate to, so I'm just going to move off. Around the parked cars. Check there's no one there. Roundabout coming up, going to take a left on this roundabout. So that's a mirror check, signal, slowing the car down. Car opposite is not indicating yet, they're going straight on. Check there's nothing coming, no, not from anywhere. And then follow this down. So, let's do another pull up on the left. Check round, no one behind. This looks like a nice spot. Pull up here. And move off when you're ready. Check my mirrors, check over my shoulder, no one coming, and move it off. Ask yourself what the speed limit is in the road you're in. It's got street lights, so it's a 30. Doesn't need signs. Checking my mirrors. I've slowed it down here as well. So if someone comes round, I'm not aiming at them. Hopefully he's actually going to wait. No, he's going to pull halfway out to the road. But you see I'd slowed down enough in order to be able to make sure that that wasn't an accident. Each time I go in and out, I check my mirrors. Every time I see something like this, I've already checked my mirrors and I'm slowing down. Now I'm bringing it out. I'm looking up the road at that white Mercedes to see if I can see any lights coming towards that car in the side of it. Check my mirrors to bring it in. I'm peering around the corner, keeping it slow. Cyclist coming towards me. I'm going to wait for this cyclist. You shouldn't be aiming at them. It might seem like strange that you're going to do that there, but I am. And then I'm going to wait for this car. Yeah. I'm going to go after this though. There's enough space between me and the van. Checking out again, got a white Audi behind now, as you can see. Checking to the left as I come back in. So I'm, just making sure no one's coming out from behind the car or anything strange is happening. Through this corner. Keeping an eye on the junctions there. Keeping an eye on this Audi that's behind, as I'm going to slow down a little bit into this corner. Now, the thing you've got to remember when you come around a corner like this, there could be someone cycling down the other side of the road, and then there could be somebody trying to overtake the cyclist, as an example. So you have to be aware that something like that could happen. I'm going quite slow because the bus is wobbling all over the road, and those buses don't fit down half these roads. The Golf has pulled out in front of me. Are they going to accelerate up enough? No, they're just going to pull out and then slow right down. Not exactly great driving, was it? Now, if they were on their driving test, the fact they pulled out in front of me made me slow down, and then for a second time brake really late and made me slow down, that would be a fail. And it should be a fail, because what they should have done is wait for me and the other car behind me to go past and then do what they just did, not just pull out in front and then slow everybody down. That's not how the road works. So straight through this again, assess the speed. It's a 30. There's a sign there that says new 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. It's been there years, but if this didn't have 30 signs and there was one we just went past, this would be a 60 limit for this car. So it requires 30 limit signs because there's no lampposts. So at the end of this road, I'm going to go left. So my procedure is check my mirrors, yeah, Audi's way back there, signal, and then start gently braking, slowing the car down, look at the end of the junction, position where I need to, which is over here. Nothing coming, check both ways because someone could be overtaking. Traffic could be built up in this direction, who knows. Decide what the speed limit is in the new road that I'm going into, and it's still a 30, but again, there's no street lights, so it requires 30 limit signs to make it 30. If there were no signs on this road, then it would be a 60 limit because I'm driving a car. And obviously if you were driving a van that's not car derived, the speed limit would be 50. So I'm actually going to put the cruise control on now. Keep it at 30 along this stretch, and you can use cruise control. I'm going to switch it off now so I've got better control. You can see road narrows both sides, humpback bridge. Checking my mirrors because I am going to slow down a little bit, because it's quite a big lump of a bridge this. If you went over it too fast, you would as you can see, probably take off. So checking my mirrors again, got this car which looks like it's been abandoned in the middle of the road. Bring myself around it, there is actually someone sat in it. Checking again, bring it over to the left. And then you can see this sign coming up. So I'm going to take the third exit, which says Colchester A12. So as I come up to it, checking my mirrors, don't signal before that junction, put the signal on, slowing down. Right, I'm watching the roundabout. The BMW is going straight across. This lady is sort of hovering. There we go. I've slowed down enough for her to get across the road. I didn't let her across. I didn't wave her across. I just gave her enough space to cross. Into the roundabout, into this right part of the roundabout. I'm checking over to my left, checking over to my left, checking over to my left, signalling left, checking over to my left again. Not cutting into the solid white line of the cycle lane like the blue Skoda Fabia in front of us. What's the speed limit? You got to ask yourself. Well, it's a 40. I don't know what that car in front's doing. They're all over the road. So get it up to 40 miles an hour. Yeah, they're off the road again. Maybe they're drunk. We're going to go left here, town centre on the side. Mirrors, signal, braking in that order. And then look where I start braking, a long way back. Looking at the roundabout, the Mini's coming straight across. There was a transporter van to my right, but he's going left without signal. But the Volkswagen is coming this way. There's a Range Rover, they're going left with no signal. And in I go. And I did check to the left as well. Okay, and then I'm going to follow this down. Huge wide bit of road here, as you can see. Don't really know why it's got arrows on it, but there you go. Usual mirror check. Don't know if you can see, but I've now got a Mini that is glued to my back bumper. Now that means that if I slow down or do anything, essentially I want to slow down earlier because they're close to my back bumper. So I'm checking all the time their closeness before I start easing off. So I'm going to follow it down the hill. You see all the parked cars. Mini's turned off now. So I'm keeping it pretty easy coming down here, making sure that Hyundai doesn't pull back out. We've got the transit van coming towards us now. Give it some space. So I'll ask myself to do the show me question now. So when it's safe to do so, can you show me how the horn works in this vehicle? Well, there's no one here. I'd say this is pretty safe, so there you go. Simple as that, eh? So we're going to carry on down. I'm going to slow down a little bit into this because it's slightly blind. And again, keeping it relatively easy through this section so I can see a little bit more. And again, just starting to slow it down again for the hill. End of the road, I'm going left. That's the end of the road. So as I come down, a couple more parked cars. Check my mirrors come out, but slowing it down. There's enough space, I can see there's enough space, not for this one. And look at the way they've parked with their wheels sticking out. Terrible, terrible parking. Checking round to my left again. So yeah, end of the road, I'm going left. Here it is. So it's a left only lane. Now I haven't signalled to go into it, and I'm not going to signal at this point either because there's no point. I may signal if I think there's a reason to when I pull away, but currently there is no particular reason to have my indicator on at all. It's a left lane or a right lane here. There's nobody behind me. Now, you can see here that the traffic is queuing across the junction. So the question is, what would you do if the lights go green and those cars are still there? Well, you can just pull down there essentially. You haven't got to wait all the way back here. Depends on the situation. There are reasons why you might wait if there was something going on, but not when it's just general moving traffic. So the little moped's gone straight into the bike box. They've gone over the advanced stop line. Obviously I've stopped before the advanced stop line. And we're just waiting at traffic lights that take forever. So hopefully they should be going now-ish. Yeah, there we go. And I am going to signal because there's a couple of people just in case they decide to want to walk across the road. Now there's another set of lights here and then another set of lights just after, which you can't see until you're right on top of them because they've got a grill on them. So the van reversing out. I'm just going to slow down and wait. What's he doing? Does he want to pull out? Yeah, there you go. Car behind really didn't want me to do that. And I'm going to move into the right lane. So check my mirrors, put my right signal on, and at the earliest opportunity I'm going to bring it across. There you go. Red light, gone to amber flashing, and there's still people crossing whilst on amber flashing. Although interesting enough, some of the cars there, including the learner car, were actually moving whilst the people were still in the road, which hope they went on their driving test. Keep an eye on this in case this car tries to swing into me. Hopefully he's checking his mirrors. So as we go around here, I haven't got to stop at the junction for the other side, but I am going to move directly across into this lane. I'll do that signal just for the benefit of the car behind who keeps getting quite close to me. It's currently a green, still green. Keep an eye because it could turn to red, and we're good. Just as I'm going through it, there you go. So carrying on and checking my mirrors and slowing down. Amber into red, all the way up to the line. In one move and one stop. Now whilst I'm sitting here, I'm checking the mirrors, didn't even get enough time to say it, to make sure that there's nothing coming. Here you can see that there's a cycle lane to my left, so I'm checking my mirror to my left, and then I'm going to move it where the cycle lane ends so that cars can get through on my right. And then we're just going to wait in this traffic. It's just traffic lights at the moment. But this isn't just relaxing time, this is keep an eye on your mirrors time. So again, could be a bicycle that comes down the left hand side. They might follow that cycle lane, not follow it onto the pavement where it actually goes, and then try and squeeze down the left hand side. Or you might get someone coming down the right hand side that might try and come past and then cut in front. These lights are taking ages. As I say, checked my mirrors. I didn't check them just at the last moment when I drove off. I was checking them prior to that moment. So here with this zebra crossing, this is extremely tricky because you can't see round it, so keeping it really slow until I can see. And then at the first opportunity, I'm going to move into the left lane. There's hatch markings here, so I shouldn't be moving across, which this guy is just going to cut straight in front. Fair enough. And then check him round and move it over myself just before the lights here. And bring it in. Check in, no one there, move it off. Make sure you don't walk across the road. Sign that tells you there's a pedestrian crossing. Anyone on it? Nope. Roads are filthy today, so you might have to clean your windscreen here and there. Like that. Not difficult. See right the way around the corner, keep an eye on the mirrors. And at the end of it, you have to do a left. Keep an eye on this crossing anyway, keep an eye on the traffic, make sure I'm not going to get stuck on the crossing. As I come up, checking to my right, there's no one coming through the roundabout. And then I'm going to go left on the next roundabout. So I'll signal. No one coming. Going to aim into the left lane. And then follow this through. Green light. Keep an eye because it could change. And just follow it straight through. Keep a decent gap. Keep an eye on the car behind. Try not to go in the cycle lanes if it's possible, but where it's a broken line you can. The problem when you're trying to keep a reasonable gap to the car in front is that the person behind then gets really close to you because they can't understand why you're not just following the next car really closely, but of course that's not the way to do it. So mirrors, signal, braking, turning right on this roundabout, third exit, watching the roundabout, nothing coming. As I come round, I'm checking left, indicating left, checking my exit route as well, obviously, during the whole thing. Straight across the next one. See the traffic. Going to go into the left part of the road here. Then I'm going to position the car to the left a bit, because that's the place you should be. And then bring it across. Now the next roundabout, this is a problem. So it should be, it's the third exit, so it should be right lane, right signal, then a left signal to come off. So as I come up, check my mirrors, right signal, slowing it down, nothing coming, into the right lane on the roundabout. I don't know if you can see the cars in front, but they didn't do that. Then left signal, car behind started in the left lane, sliced in behind me, and then he's come off in the same exit. Nobody appears to be able to use that roundabout correctly. Now he's literally a millimetre off my back bumper, so I've got to keep an eye on him because I've had to slow down for anything. If there's a hazard in front, I'm going to need to back off early. He has backed off a little bit, but not very much. So again, I'm keeping an eye on him because it's a problem. I don't particularly want him running into the back of me, so I need to keep an eye that he is not going to do that if there is something in front of me. So when I come up to anything like this that van, whatever it is, window cleaning or something. I'm checking my mirrors, I'm easing it off a little bit, because if someone steps out from behind that van, there's not a lot of space behind. Bring it through for me to brake. Checking my mirrors, bring it out. Now, because there's parked cars, the white line doesn't really matter, so it's the gaps of the parked cars. So my position's good. Car in front, I'm just moving in a little bit here, but I'm going to move back out. Car in front, they could give a little bit more space to those parked cars, to be honest, when you've got such a wide road. So as we come up, we are going to come into a funny section. So we're basically going straight, and then at the end we're turning right. So at the end we're turning right, but not through this first section. You can't turn right here anyway, so it wouldn't be possible. You can see the sign. Don't know what you call it, half a roundabout? Anyway, we're going into the right lane, so at the end we can turn right. If you're on a test, they should tell you which lane to go into, if you couldn't possibly know. So at this point, if they haven't told you to get into the right lane, then you would go into the left lane. But they should dictate the lane to you if it's impossible to know. And you can't know until you get to this point. But when you get to this point, it's a bit difficult to change lanes. So if you know where you're going, it's much easier to do it earlier. And it's why you should be able to take a test anywhere without any prior knowledge of the roads, because anything like that where it could be potentially awkward, so check in left, van's not coming out, see the change of speed limit. But yeah, so you should be able to take a test anywhere, so don't ever concern yourself with lanes. If there's a lane issue, then they should, absolutely should, tell you which lane to get into beforehand. So I'm going to need the right lane at the top of this anyway. This road splits into two in a minute. Even if you're on a test, you can overtake. It does go into a 40 a bit further up though, so I'm going to put my right signal on. I'm going to put my foot down, bring it out to this, which is an overtaking lane to get past lorries. As you see, I'm bringing it out to almost 60, but there's the 40. So as I come up, checking my mirrors, easing it down,